ball.
The culture.
I mean, we keeping the buck right now, we ass.
To win games, you have to win the game.
Finish the fucking game. Just end it.
From the teams gearing up for playoffs to those planning trips to Cancun, the NFL season's nearing its end. Our sanity will not be saved, however. January will destroy us in due time. Not to mention hockey and basketball revving up to full gear. Getting to games is of the highest priority, but you don't want to break the bank doing so. That's why I go with SeatGeeks, the sponsor of this video when I have that itch to attend live sports, concerts, or other events. There are over 70,000 events on the SeatGeek app at any given time. I think I have plenty of choice. Take Penguins hockey, for example. Searching for games on SeatGeek gets me every ticket available on the web in one place. It sorts all the ones available from red to green on a 1 to 10 scale. The greener the color, the better the deal. Also giving me a sneak peek from where I'll be sitting. The ease of use has me coming back every time. And you know to always use the code TREE to save 20 bucks off your first purchase. I've said it a million times and I'll say it a million more. SeatGeek will be my staple going into 2026 and for many years to come. But now on to the video. What a slate the NFL's brought us for Christmas. 5 of 16's out of contention, and the first game's featuring the legendary Josh Johnson under center. Netflix treated this broadcast like a glorified preseason game, and honestly, that's how we should be seeing this. A fun little scrimmage where the Cowboys' offense can destroy whatever the hell the commies are throwing out on D these days. Shit, I think half their team's on Medicaid at this point. With Tyler Biadasz knocked out too, the other half's in a mortuary. It's a testament on how much Dak's unit's been completely wasted. 480 yards and 6 for 6 on 4th down. Great, it's a win against a long-dead opponent. Congratulations, here are your pity slices of prime rib. You can go on the back and gorge on the festering carcass, too. This Trayvon Diggs situation in Dallas has just been weird as fuck. No one actually knew how he got injured at his house, and it was from trying to set up a TV. Then he was out for God knows how long. Then he said he was healthy, but the Cowboys didn't want him out there? Now he apparently wanted to go away on Christmas break to be with his family, but Schottenheimer refused him. Trayvon said he'd go anyway, so Dallas just gave him all the time with them he wanted. He's been cut. Honestly, it feels like they just wanted to shed him due to his play. Kind of hard to justify that shitty defensive coverage when you aren't landing into a bajillion picks a year. So anybody want a corner for their playoff push? Anybody? I mean, he's pretty much a body. Someone please take him. Earlier this week, a pissed-off Lions fan paid for a billboard in Detroit simply saying robbed in Wayne font. He may have been talking about ref ball on Sunday. He should have saved it for his Lions shitting the bed in Minnesota. In a year full of collapses and implosions, this was the most embarrassing chicken shit fucking display I've seen in a long time. With their backs against the wall in a game which decides their playoff fate, this is the performance they put on? Did Matt Patricia sneak back onto the sidelines or something? I've never seen a supposed Super Bowl contender at the start of the year completely crumble just by Brian Flores spamming blitzes. The run game did nothing again. So Jared Goff suddenly decided it was a great idea to cosplay as Santa Claus, gift-wrapping terrible presents in the form of turnovers to the Vikings. Detroit had 8 of them before this game. They nearly doubled it here. 6 tasty treats for Minnesota's goddamn cookie table. Now this is bad enough, but then you look at the limp-dicked offense the Vikings were featuring. The Lions were outmatched by Max Brosmer, a quarterback who should only be handing off to-go orders at Chili's. Detroit lost to a man who was sacked 7 times, held onto the ball like it was a newborn child, and had 3 net passing yards. Minnesota literally had no offense for all but one play with a guy who can't throw a football. What the fuck is wrong with you? This is the most Steeler bullshit I've seen since they played the damn Steelers days earlier. Dan Campbell's men are supposed to be a tough physical team. These Lions got fucking defanged to become a zoo exhibit. Don't worry, you aren't getting robbed of this locale of the week. Maybe Dan can go for it on 4th down for that award too. What a shameful display. Dead last in the North with the Vikings' disastrous season? Get the fuck out of here. Gambling Dan sold off everything he could and bet it all on the 4th down craps table. The dice broke like his offensive line and secondary. Detroit lost everything in the kitchen sink. Maddening inconsistency all year, maddening implosions after starting 4-1. Remember when you put up 50 on the Bears? Good times. You're not silencing the doubters and critics, Broncos. Hell, with shit like this, you're amplifying them to rock concert decibels. In the finale of the Christmas disaster trio of games, Denver barely squeaked by at the last possible moment against the hated Chiefs. The team... Hold on, I have to check the roster. Chucking out third stringers onto the field in most positions that got crushed by the Titans last week featuring Chris Aladakuna QB. KC didn't even crack 100 yards of offense until the final drive. This is the worst damn performance for a so-called Super Bowl contender I've seen in a good bit. Their offense is pathetic. Are any of these receivers gonna catch a damn thing? Are you gonna stop taking terrible penalties? Is Sean Payton gonna do anything besides dink and dunk crap praying for receivers to break out huge runs? When the game plan is pray Bo Nix goes clutch on a hollowed out defense, it's alarming. Holy shit, you guys, Tim Tebow 2.0 had another final drive that got them the win. And it happened because Chris Jones jumped off sides on the 4th down. Deus Ex Machina! Wow, I'm so impressed. My panties are wet with anticipation from such an unconvincing victory. This team is the 2024 Chiefs to a T. Denver keeps playing like this, they're getting blown the fuck out in their first playoff match. God, what a shitty game. Hopefully this goes a little better than the last time Houston traveled down to SoFi. But the Chargers are just as stiff an opponent as the Rams were. Well, they should be, but look what LA's been dancing through their own raindrops throughout the year. Stroud Rainbows are gonna make this a really quick 14-point deficit. Then you get to the non-blocking elephants in the room. You have quite possibly the best pass rush in the past few years against Bobby Hart playing blindside for the first time in his career. What the fuck did you think would happen? This isn't Matt Eberflus calling plays. Herbie will become monster truck fodder. Fortunately, Houston's offense dies since Nick Caley woke up from his chloroform-induced coma. Chargers will get plenty of chances to save themselves, but peak chargering rears its head at the worst moments. Late in the second half on the attack, Aronde Gadsden becomes a springboard for a pick near the end zone. A terrible throw by Stroud gives them a bailout plays later, but conveniently the Dicker kicker of all people castrates a field goal to blow the chance. That was their game on offense throughout. Death, destruction, and a farewell to the West or a chance to play Pittsburgh. It devolves into Justin Herbert versus the world, as it shall forever be. Yet nefarious ref balls afoot. Puka Nakua's tinfoil hat is justified by nudging this game left and right. On the Bolts' final drive, Herbert dies several times only to be bailed by some pretty questionable calls. Are they just manipulating this to keep it close? Or are they just flat out incompetent? The Chargers will take it. Scoring to make it a... When the hell did Nate Keating usurp the body of Cameron Dicker? That time to fall to complete shit, man. Houston gets ball up by 4. Liquid LA's doing everything in their power to get the ball back. Then on 3rd down, pay dirt. They sack Stroud and get called for illegal contact? An absolutely crucial spot, and you're calling that ticky-tacky shit? This game didn't need heinous ref ball, but they somehow made themselves the focal point in those last 2 drives. Are they Broncos fans by any chance? Not asking for any reason in particular. Houston more or less escapes the ineptitude of Nick Caley and the offense as a whole. But that defense impeccably saved their season and jobs aplenty after that 0-3 start. Well done, Texans. You're moving on to the next stage. Critical matchups with both starting QBs out is a truly special phenomenon. Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley against Malik Willis in a fate-deciding contest of all that is just and holy in the world. It would be much more competitive if the Packers weren't completely dead. I'm not even joking about that. The endless injuries to key players have left them a shell of their former selves, especially on defense. Derrick Henry rumbled all game long. Next to nobody could stop him. Snoop Huntley managed the game in front of him well. And even more Packers continued to fall in a 60-minute funeral at Lambeau. They need to make bribes for Toyotathon to happen throughout January. It's the only way they can survive. Otherwise, their D can't stop a damn thing. Malik Willis played his way to both an incredible game and about $50 million guaranteed in the offseason, but Baltimore was on a mission to save their season. The best laid plans of Cheeseheads and LaFleur will go awry. And now Willis re-aggravated his shoulder in the 4th quarter, which means... No, it can't be. Clayton Tone? That dude's still in the NFL? You're cooked. I don't even care if the receivers at fault for this pick. You're being turned into a fucking Parm cheese wheel, Green Bay. At least Baltimore still has a sliver of a chance on the back of King Henry's 200-yard campaign. You're doomed to a life of 7th seed hell. An absolute fall from grace. The Bears become kings of the NFC North in the process, as we all predicted back in September. The Packers' playoff berth somehow got injured during their celebration. Ironic. I'd say the Jets understood the assignment. Suck like a porn star and tank for great justice. The only thing to root for is that Colts draft pick getting better and better. Don't worry about following the game, New York fucking sucks. The biannual teabagging of the Patriots shall continue in one of the finest revived traditions in 2025. Drake May's gonna be facing those moving sleds in Madden 2004 today. He will dominate like he's never dominated before. You praise your Josh Allen? New York's only screaming Mayday into a transponder. Words don't do his game justice. Shit, the QBR stat barely does as well. A 99.8 rating, the highest recorded in the metrics history. New England's so relentless in their trolling that Mike Vrabel called a timeout before half so the Jets would have to run another play. To be fair to them, Aaron Glenn did it first. Patriots can relate to the struggle of bringing in a woefully overmatched head coach. Now, if the Jets do the right thing, I'm not banking on it. This has been the perfect week to be a Patriots fan. The Snows bearing their opponents a chance at a first-round bye. Nothing can piss on this New England parade.
Are you fucking shitting me?
Prepare to spin the wheel of discipline, Stefan. In 10 months. We've got a few matinee tank bowls to deliver to you, the viewing faithful before the main event. You know what that is. Why do I call this one a tank bowl despite the Bengals crushing bad teams with Joe Burrow on repeat? Have you seen the Cardinals' injury reports? This is an entire goddamn starting lineup in the infirmary. Arizona refuses to purge a thing for their repeated failure, so the gods are doing it for them. You sit and wonder why the Bungles had next to no resistance here? Almost 430 yards of offense. And this was with coasting in neutral throughout the fourth quarter. Jacoby Brissett feeding Michael Wilson and Trey McBride for fantasy football. That's all the Cards are good for. The team checked out in September and got even worse the moment Brissett became a starter. What a pathetic way to send Calais Campbell out of the league. Yippee, another free win for Cincy. Although that's probably not the best for them. Two rookie QBs and a showcase for the future. They'll both have starting jobs in 2026, but it's mainly a test of their development over this year. At least one of them more than answered the bell. Tyler Shuck's facing the equivalent of college defenses, so he'll sling like he did in college. And he's throwing to electricians, insurance salesmen, and Chris Olave. Look at these names: Audric Estime, Kevin Austin Jr., Maliki Matavao, and Dante Pettis. Pettis is still in the league? The Titans don't have much of anything either, but Cam Ward does well enough against the fossilized Saints D2.
Do a barrel roll.
Trying in vain to match Tyler through the air, however, it won't be enough. The Titans already had their moral victory last week in beating the Chiefs. Shuck's gonna force New Orleans to victory by sheer willpower in the fourth quarter. Or it might just be Tennessee's suckitude. Leave it to the Saints to magically start winning games to end the year when it does absolutely nothing for their future. Sure, Tyler Shuck may be something, but all this does is give Mickey Loomis further entrenchment as teams are. Exactly what Saints fans want. Still better than what the Titans have in the executive branch. You can't even call this a slow, painful death for Indy. They've long been dead. Colts have been rotting on the recliner where they had a heart attack for months. Fortunate thing today is that their defense managed to have a pulse against a division rival, forcing a fumble in the traditional frustrating T-Law pick near the end zone to keep it close at half. There will even be horseshoe leads of 3 involved in the third quarter. But no matter what, Indiana apparently only exists to deliver pain to its state's fans. When they gave all their power to Hoosiers football, I don't know. In the fourth quarter, Duval's defense clamped down Old Man Rivers and the Colts offense as a whole. If this is it for Rivers' comeback tour, it was a moment we'll never forget. But today was not his day. It's for Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, pushing ahead with Cam Little's leg to further entrench their hold of the AFC South. The Colts lose yet another heartbreaker. This time, it's not shocking or frustrating, but one of finality. The collapse of ages is complete. What a cruel, agonizing way to see your season crumble in real time. Everything they did, well-intentioned and logical, blew up in their face. Well, at least you didn't do anything stupid in the process, like, say, trade your first-round picks over the next few years or something. Man, that'd be embarrassing. This is our Colts. This is our team. They collapsed. 7-1, 8-2. Total failure. Jesus Christ, Tampa. You're really gonna blow this division so easily? Are you shitting me? All the ways for a team to flame out and the Bucks chose absolutely pathetic. The Dolphins are pipsqueaks that only exist to feast on garbage opponents since their horrifying start. Tampa Bay is one of those garbage teams to be thrown in the refuse. And it's an everything problem with the Bucks. Every damn thing. Baker's non-throwing shoulder has to still be hurting. It's the only logical reason as to why he's fallen off hard since the Rams game. Regression to the mean no longer buoyed by unsustainable one-score victories. But to lose to Quinn Ewers? To make him look somewhat passable throwing the ball? You're fucking terrible. The whole damn team imploded on offense. Where the hell's your running game in fucking Key West? Endless turnovers and picks making Anthony Weaver look like a goddamn genius by doing nothing. Running stride for stride yet stumbling at every opportunity for the hell of it. This is utterly embarrassing. And now the Panthers can swipe away your soul in one fell swoop. Well, no one said this was gonna be easy. You're up against a powerhouse gunning for the #1 seed in the NFC. It's simply pray you strike like Oberyn Martell against the mountain. Bad news for you, Carolina. You're just getting your face crushed in. Seattle's defense is a machine that exists to make the opposite 11's existence a living hell. Lie down on the sacrifice table, Panthers, you get to die. And it won't be quick either. The Seahawks offense decided to reopen McDonald's for God knows what reason. But the health department fortunately shut them down in the second half to be carried away by Zach Charbonnet for a decisive, if sluggish, starting win. That domination would be relentless and persistent. The enigma that is Bryce Young continues on. I think you have to throw for more than 40 net passing yards to succeed in January. Every time you think he's gonna launch, he gets suffocated and puts up this. I may not know what the hell Carolina is in a given week, but this is a preview of what will happen if the Panthers make the playoffs. And their fans will gladly take that beating with a smile on their face. Okay, so Tampa's loss meant nothing. Week 18 can somehow save Todd Bowles' job in spite of his tremendous hackery. If Tampa Bay somehow escapes their own incompetence yet again, I swear to God. If you didn't expect this as a Steeler fan, you're either 6 years old or drunk off RD2's Kool-Aid. God damn it. Play the music. This is a fucking joke. Tonight, on Unbelievably Predictable, a classic Tomlin tradition beleaguers all those that experience it again. You see, kids, at least once a year, Teflon Tomlin Steelers fall down the chimney and break every bone in their body against a garbage tier opponent. Cleveland may be reeling and have no offense to speak of, but Pittsburgh fares poorly in the factory of sadness. We must remind them of the rusted out Mon Valley. Win here and clinch the North, it doesn't matter. Browns put up 10 points early and that's all they needed. Heinously playing down the competition at the worst possible time. To the naked eye, the Black and Gold Brigade were far more interested in preventing Myles Garrett from getting the sack record. They also prevented themselves from scoring points frequently. 4th and 1 and you're throwing a go route to Scotty fucking Miller? Even DK wasn't catching that shitty pass. Somehow, Shedeur Sanders was the better QB on the field and he was putrid in the second half. The football became an Atlas stone as they tried to move it forward. Yet the Steelers never experienced perfect timing. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood has fallen to blight and squalor, unable to solve a Browns defense that should have had so much more throughout the year. And then we try to forget that Boswell shanked another kick. Teflon Tomlin and Rogers will do the rest. So you punt the ball on 4th and 5 at Cleveland's 45. You go for it on 4th and 10 at your own 20? What the fuck are you doing? On the final drive, Aaron would tease his former clutch glory by finally throwing the ball to Freiermuth, but then decided trying to feed his buddy MVS in the end zone 3 straight times was a more worthwhile cause. Brownie the Elf trolls a divisional rival as successfully as that troll in Detroit did DK. The Steelers suffer their worst loss in years, especially given the circumstances. Baltimore could have been killed off, but they gave them Week 18 life. A complete disaster at every turn. But no, they didn't play a bad game, Tomlin says. They just needed more high-end talent to bail them out. It can all be settled by repeatedly bashing their heads into a brick wall. Gonna be tougher to do since Darnell Washington broke his forearm. We can have no nice things for this holiday. Retribution for being bailed by ref ball 2 of the last 3 weeks. And retribution for days of our Steelers. It's not even infuriating, you can see it coming from a mile away. In preparation for the anti-championship game, there was a dilemma for the Raiders. Brock Bowers was already shelved for the year, but Max Crosby may be a thorn in their side. He's a man unwilling to conform for the future, proudly shouting from the Las Vegas mountaintops, "Fuck your tank! I'm a proud football player. I'm going to do my best and kick ass on the field whether it's a contender or one-win team." The Raiders can't put him out there. He'd sabotage their grand plans. So the brass simply said, "Fuck you, Max. Putting you on IR for your lingering knee injury. Go get surgery." Crosby was so moved by their decision that he stormed out of team headquarters and may never return. A soul for a soul, as it shall forever be. Everyone on IR for either side's gonna make this a disaster for the ages. The greatest matchup for us sickos in years. Super Tank Ball! I'm so proud of the Raiders. Their greatest victory in generations, and it came in a blowout loss. Everyone played a part in the Silver and Black's defeat. Geno Smith reinforced his legendary Jets form, or his Giants form under Ben McAdoo, whatever you fancy. The defense repeatedly fell apart to long gains and touchdown drives. Jackson Dart saw the rumors about New York potentially looking at QB if they pick first overall, and he said, "Nope, you're fucking mine!" If only Shane Bowen were still here, but alas, all they get are Deontay Banks' return TDs for the Raiders to win Super Tank Bowl. Geno Smith's injury is a devastating loss for their failing efforts, but I believe in Kenny Kitten Mittens. He will guide them to glory and become a legend in Raider lore. Lose, my friend. Lose, and your sacrifice will not be in vain. Las Vegas has a date with destiny next week. Crossing the Mendoza line is paramount. And their reward is the Giants' reminder of failure. Win when they're supposed to lose, lose when they're supposed to win. Worst of all, keeping Joe Shane when he's done little to justify it. The G-Men can do absolutely nothing right. Fortunately, they only fall to second overall in the draft. If they win next week, however, oh God. If any game exposed the glaring flaws of both teams, it's this one. What I'm seeing are two groups that aren't getting anywhere close to the Super Bowl without major changes. Thing is, neither of them will. In the first half, the Bills' offense could do absolutely nothing in the pouring down rain. Philly's relentless defensive assaults pouring down even harder for the entirety of the match. Annihilation in a statement of statements. And it's one of relentless pressure. One that can carry them to a Super Bowl without even trying. A 13-point lead feels like 50. Yeah, we know this isn't close to over. It's standing and wide. Philly's offense is infuriatingly bad once again. I can hear the mouth breathers now. Tree, you're just jealous of Sirianni. He does nothing but win. You mad. Cope more. Yes, I am mad. I'm sorry I had the unreasonable expectation of an offense with that much talent on it to complete a fucking pass! Flaccid for an entire goddamn half. 17 yards. 17 fucking yards! Against the battered Bills, D? Even in this weather, it's insanely damning. Worse, they'll solely blame Hurts for this, but he's not even majorly at fault. The main culprits are those clowns Patullo and Sirianni for their game plans. We need to establish the run game. Yeah, establish my dick in your ass. It'll be the most penetration your line will get most plays. Vic Fangio's unit deserves a real offense. Everyone in that stadium knows Sean McDermott's gonna flash the fire god symbol in the sky in another effort to save his job. Josh Allen wakes from slumber. Drives Buffalo down the field for the first time to the proud roar of Bills Mafia. A touchdown to give them life. Blocked PAT unfortunately included with it. Did you really expect the Eagles offense to do anything here? Fuck no, they'll shit the bed per usual in the Patullo era. Buffalo's got hook and ladder plays to execute in the grand scheme. And they'll break Fangio's man. It's so damn predictable late. Another game that shouldn't be a game. Thanks a lot, offense. Highly appreciated.
Here it is, Allen is shoved over and in! Touchdown, Buffalo!
See what happens when you fuck around for that damn long? Now they're going for two to kill you off. Pulling Patullo and Sirianni into Lake Erie.
Allen looking to throw. Pressure throws. Incomplete! Don't see a flag! Eagles gonna hold on!
Josh Allen missed. He missed a throw he makes 99 of 100 times. They got away with it again. Those two clowns that mangle Philly's offense at every damn turn got away with it for the 20th fucking time! Sirianni's out here talking shit for getting a D- thanks to being carried by Fangio? Man, shut the fuck up! Great going, Buffalo. You not only let them off the hook, you handed New England their rightful place as lords of the AFC East. You aren't doing shit, Bills. Just go away. At Levi's Stadium, a war's taking place. Bears and 49ers dueling for precious seeding in the NFC. Difference between a first-round bye and a wildcard grind hanging in the balance, especially for San Francisco. Early pick six aside, the contest is an even match. An incredible spectacle in the air and on the ground. Both units' game plans are to simply attack everything in sight without any regard for defense or flank protection. Endless offense and a relentless bombardment. Defending is merely a social construct. Both these may as well have been the 2025 Bengals and the 2025 Cowboys out there. Caleb Williams flinging and dazzling with his dynamic and evolving play. Big Cock Brock flat out assassinating defenders left and right in his wake. So efficient you could call Bears defenders Franz Ferdinand. And Frisco's without significant roster power, even Kittle and Trent Williams. And it will be a fight to the very end, one full of action at all parts of the field. The game plays out like this. Caleb was damn good. Purdy was transcendent. Even if Williams gets them to a 35 all tie in the fourth, trying to contain the Niners' offense is nigh impossible. Especially if Chicago's not getting turnovers en masse. But Dennis Allen's unit still has strength in the overall picture. Their defending 11 made a stop. The 49ers have to punt twice in a game. Insanity. Now Chicago can put it away, and that they might. A long time munching drive for all that's holy in the world. They'll get to the red zone. But Robert Saleh's sorcery continues with a stonewall spell. The Bears are forced to use the leg of Santos to go up by 3. Too bad Chicago's defense couldn't respond in kind. I'd say losing Noah Sewell hurt them a good bit, but I don't know if anybody was stopping Brock Purdy. Assassinating Chicago hopes with a crossing touchdown to Jawan Jennings. With a 4-point lead with time winding down, that's easy for the Bears. They have these comeback victories in their sleep. It's another gonna hurt. Getting to the red zone with relative ease. But a hook and ladder with no timeouts in the waning seconds? Bold as hell. But the Bears should still have a chance or two left to finish them off.
4 seconds left, second and goal. Here is Williams. He's got to throw it to the end zone. Clock has expired. Williams keeps the play alive. He's looking. He's got to get rid of it. Retreating, he throws. Incomplete. It's over. And the Niners have won.
It's unfortunate that Chicago ran out of either time or comebacks to pull out of their ass. That's the power of 49er sorcery, baby. Even in the face of despair and defying the gods themselves, they have a chance to secure the NFC West and the #1 seed. Not bad for being without your best players on defense. Are you serious about Fred Warner returning if they go deep? That'd be huge. Huh. Okay. The Rams may be out of the #1 seed talks with the Niners win, but to suddenly imitate those 2 minutes in the fourth quarter against Seattle on repeat? I'd say you should want to play a shitty NFC South team in the playoffs, but you've been humiliated by 2 of them. Congratulations, LA. You've not only pissed away a division that was all but yours, but Matthew Stafford probably pissed away his MVP campaign. I don't know if he felt bad for Atlanta or was suddenly afflicted with Desmond Ritteritis, but he was gifting picks left and right. Go figure, the Falcons only need to be eliminated from the playoffs and they'll finally play up to potential. At least they have something to play for and making their first rounder to LA worse. Atlanta dominating a supposed heavyweight contender in the first half. Just as we all predicted. But wait a second, these are the Falcons. They're known for choking in any given situation. Up by 21, do you know what team this is? Set the oven to failure to 400 degrees and give it about 30 minutes. Add any seasoning you'd like for taste. Then take it out and add a field goal block return for a touchdown. And after letting it rest, finally Stafford can... Wait, scratch that, he threw another pick. Really? 3 on the day, Matt? Okay, now Stafford can unleash hell to tie the game. Cook is a head case, but he's still damn good at football. Now we can laugh at the Falcons as is tradition. Alright, this defense can't stop Bijan. He had almost 200 yards on the ground on the day, and he got them right to field goal range to retake the lead. The Falcons unfalcon. Rams now suffers another embarrassing defeat as they go ice cold. This win streak's going to allow Raheem Morris and Hack Robinson to keep their jobs, isn't it? Well, if Stafford's going to keep firing blanks with his receivers, then the NFC West is going to dance on their grave. Although it could lead to Matt Ryan in Atlanta's executive branch. Please let this be the end of John McKay. A few more pieces have moved into place for January ball. Some divisions and playoff spots locked up by default, but don't let that fool you into thinking there isn't anything to play for in the final week. The AFC's #1 seed is still up for grabs. Denver's unconvincing win's good enough to keep it theirs. All they have to do is win and a first-round bye is secure. If they fail, New England can grab its wonderful bosom. If both lose, Jacksonville is a long shot at it. But with the first two's opponents, probably doubtful. The AFC North, thanks to Cleveland's relentless trolling, has returned to a winner-take-all contest. The Ravens or the Steelers. Win and earn the right to get your ass kicked in the wild card. Wonderful. The AFC South is also still available, but the Jaguars should lay claim. Keyword here is should. If they somehow falter, the Texans can snag it in the night. The NFC is all but set. However, two major battlegrounds remain besides wildcard slots. We expected the NFC South to be a shit show, and it is. Tampa Bay and Carolina play each other in Week 18. Panthers are straightforward. Win and in. But Atlanta's thrown a thorn into things. If the Bucs and Falcons win next week, it leads to a three-way divisional tie with the Panthers earning tiebreaker. So the Buccaneers need a win and Atlanta loss to make it now. But the real fight is between Seattle and San Francisco. Win and secure both the NFC West and a first-round bye. Lose and fall to the 5th seed. All or nothing. The pressures are enormous for these teams, and the right to advance further is at stake. Good luck. You'll all need it.
Don't get eliminated!
Now that will certainly put a bow on Sportsball in Week 17. What are we gonna get, some last-minute shenanigans? What do you mean Christian Barmore got arrested? That's 2 arrests in 2 days for New England. The Patriots are so back.
This was the last one. I told you guys I wasn't gonna have any regrets about coming back, and I don't. It's other than us not winning, right? Us not winning. It's been an absolute blast for 3 weeks. I wouldn't, if I go back and say, all right, now you know everything's gonna happen. What are you gonna do? I'd do it all again. It's been absolutely awesome. So yeah, I mean, if it's the last one, it's the last one. I thought the last one was walking off the field in Buffalo, walking up that tunnel, and I was fine with that. And that one had tears those few days after it, you know, and I was at peace with that being the last one. So certainly, if it is, I got 3 bonus games that I never saw coming, and couldn't be more thankful that I got the opportunity.